Welcome back to the channel for another video, and in today's one is the annual looking back at my table predictions from the start of the season. Every man and his dog tries to predict the League Two table at the start of the season. Content creators, pundits, all of these people try and predict where each team are going to finish from 24th up to 1st. And who's going to get promoted, who's going to get relegated, etc., etc. And every single year, I seem to have massive stinkers. And looking at the where I've predicted everyone this season, I wouldn't say any of them are massively far-fetched. There's a few far-fetched teams, but there's a lot of teams that I've got 2 or 3 places out. There's a lot of teams that or got a few that are dead on. So yeah, I think I am starting to do a bit better. And what I'm going to start doing from this season, or from this video, is working out at the end of the video how many points I get, basically. So if I get a team dead on, I get 0 points. If a team finished 2 places lower down or higher up than what I thought, I get 2 points. And basically, I want to get as least points as possible. If somehow one day I could get 0 points, that would be ridiculous, but I just don't think that will ever happen. But yeah, I'm going to go through where I think, or where I predicted everyone to finish, and obviously where they did finish at the end of the season. Let's get into it. Make sure you smash a like on the video. As always, subscribe, and yeah, let's just get into it. So then, the team that I predicted in 24th place was Morecambe. I predicted that the Shrimps would finish in 24th, rock bottom of the division, and go down. And lo and behold, Morecambe did go straight back down. I predicted 24th for the Lancashire side, and they did finish in 24th. I just looked at the squad, and I looked at just everything around the club, the negativity around the club going into the season. And I just believed that it was a season that Morecambe were finally going to go down. They've been in the Football League for a long time, and I think them and a few other teams have just been on the grasp of going down for a long time. I think Accrington's another one of them, and I think that ultimately they just didn't have enough throughout the season. They were relegated with like 4 or 5 games to go. I think it was a bit longer than that, wasn't it? Maybe 5, I think. But yeah, they just weren't good enough over the season, and they did finish rock bottom. 23rd place, I predicted Bromley, the League Two new boys' debut season at the level, and I predicted that they would go straight back down. However, they did stay up in the division. Not just did they stay up, they finished in 11th place this season. Fair play to Bromley. Michael Cheek's a bad boy. Absolutely smashed it this league for them. And to be fair, that is a good sort of building block for Bromley, finishing 11th in their first season in the league. Some big business. Cameron Congreve coming in was a big bit of business. Michael Cheek already there, bagged like 20-odd plus goals in the league, which, again, I didn't believe that he could translate that non-league form to the Football League, and he smashed it. Obviously, Harry McCurdy came in January as well. And they done well. They done very well. Got some really good results. Battered us at their place. And got a draw at Rodney Parade as well. And I was really impressed with them over the 2 games. And throughout the season as well, they played well. I got that massively wrong. I thought they would go down. And they comfortably stayed up in the top half as well. Congratulations, Bromley. 22nd place then, I predicted Harrogate Town. I said that Harrogate would stay up in the division. Again, I did say that they would be above the relegation zone, but I said they'll comfortably stay up. I believed at the start of the season that Bromley and Morecambe were going to be so far behind everyone else that 22nd to like 18th, 19th sort of were comfortably staying up, but would be down there. And I said that with Harrogate. I did say they'll stay up. I think last year, the season before that, I said they would stay up as well. They finished in 18th place, 4 places above where I predicted. Again, these type of predictions, where there's 3 or 4 places in it, as long as I'm not miles out, I'm taking that as a bit of a win. I said they'd be in the bottom sort of like 6 of the table, and they were. So yeah, Harrogate, I said, would finish in 22nd. They finished in 18th. Much to build on this season. I think they've already made a couple of good signings. And yeah, that was, what I predicted. I think they'd finished 22nd, and they finished 4 places better off. Next team in 21st, I predicted Accrington Stanley, and Accrington Stanley finished in 21st. I'll tell you what, I'm doing good at this, aren't I? The first 4 teams so far, I've only had Bromley really miles away. I've had Morecambe spot on, Harrogate 4 places off, and Accrington spot on as well. Yeah, Accrington, again, another boring season, you could say. They were down there, massively down there, up until about March, and you really thought it was going to be them and Morecambe. They managed to, or them, Morecambe and another team were down there for a long time. Accrington managed to stay up like I predicted them to at the start of the season. However, if they don't invest big in the summer, I do sense and worry a relegation threatened season for Aki. But again, I predicted 21st. They finished in 21st. They did stay up in the league, which is probably what a lot of fans were worried that they wouldn't do. But yeah, spot on again with Accrington Stanley. 20th place then, I predicted Grimsby Town. I've had a stinker. I've had an absolute stinker. They lost Glennon, of course, in the window to us. They lost Gavin Houlihan as well. There was someone else, I think it was Harry Clifton, one day that went to Doncaster. I said in that video, I'm worried with the players that Grimsby have lost. Can they get anywhere near away from the bottom half of the table? And yeah, 9th, 2 places off the playoffs. Brilliant. They were in the playoffs for a lot of the season as well. And I predicted them to finish 20th. Hold my hands up with a massive 11 points off that one for Grimsby. But I think I was right in saying that they would be predicted to be down there at the start of the season. So I'd probably take... Obviously, it's an L, but I do think a lot of people predicted Grimsby in and around that part of the table anyway in pre-season. I predicted 20th for the Mariners. They finished in 9th. Next up then is 19th place, and I predicted Tranmere Rovers. Tranmere Rovers finished in 20th place, so only 1 place off where I predicted them to finish. And in the video I did say they won't go down, but they'll be flirting with relegation during parts of the season. And until only a few weeks from the end of the season, they could have been relegated. So I think I'll hold my hands up with that one. 1 place out. I said Tranmere were going to finish 19th. They finished 20th. And yeah, I mean, when you get 1 or 2 places down the bottom of the table or top of the table, it doesn't really mean anything. But again, 1 place off for Tranmere. They could have gone down. They could have gone down, which obviously would have been a terrible prediction if I predicted them to stay up and they went down. But yeah, I predicted 19th. They finished in 20th. Next up is 18th place, and I predicted that would be vacated by Salford City. Now, I did say in the video, people are going to think, what the hell is he doing? They've got a great squad and a good team there at Salford. I must admit, they have got a good team. But I just thought that they've been around the playoffs for a few seasons, and I thought they was just going to drop off. I predicted 18th. They finished 10 places better than that in 8th. Again, that one, for me, I saw the sense of it, and quite a lot of people predicted them to be mid-table and around 15th to sort of 15th to like 12th mark. And I predicted 18th. They didn't get promoted, and didn't get the playoffs, thankfully. Again, if they would have got playoffs and even worse promotion, that would be an awful prediction. But I said they would, again, struggle, and they managed to nearly get the playoffs only by 1 place missing out. Obviously, it was Chesterfield who took that last playoff place. But yeah, I predicted 18th for Salford City. They finished in 8th. Great season for them, missing out on the playoffs. But for me and their prediction, absolute terrible. 17th place, I predicted the Saddlers, Walsall. Wow. This could have been much different, couldn't it? This could have been much, much different. I predicted that the Saddlers would finish 17th. They nearly stormed the league. They were 14 points clear of the top of the league in January. Could have absolutely blitzed the league, and my prediction would have looked stupid. However, one shameless dub is they didn't get promoted. So, as much as I nearly got this absolutely miraculously miles out in terms of saying 17th, they could have won the league. They should have won the league. They were miles clear. They didn't even get promotion, obviously losing at Wembley to AFC Wimbledon. You know, it's a mad, mad story, the bottle that Walsall had this season. And yeah, I predicted 17th. They finished 13 places better in 4th. Could have been 16, should have been 16. I don't care that they didn't get promoted, and I put them that far. That's a massive L from me. I said 17th. They nearly absolutely blitzed League Two, but they still finished 4th and nearly got promotion in the playoffs. Terrible one from me there. 16th place, I predicted Michael Flynn's Cheltenham. Again, the business they done in the window was, not really type of business that try and get you out of the league. Brought in Scott Bennett from Newport, Joe Day from Newport as well. So signings that ain't going to push you to promotion might keep you in the league, which is what it done for Michael Flynn's Cheltenham. But he went with a tried and trusted, didn't he? Players that he knew, players that he trusted. Obviously brought in Ryan Haynes as well, former Newport player. He tried to just bring in players that he knew and that he trusted and relied on. Yeah, I get that. It's a good thing to do. But when you're trying to push on in this league, you want to start getting players that, really want to express themselves and really want to, show themselves in the league. I predicted 16th. They finished 15th. It's one place off. Where exactly in the table I expected them to be. And yeah, again, big summer ahead for Cheltenham Town. Yeah, I mean, the loan signings helped them towards the back end of the season. Ethan Williams, especially from Manchester United, was a main one, scored against us as well, didn't he? Yeah, but 16th I predicted. They finished in 15th. 15th place, I predicted my boys, Newport County. Now, going into the season, I looked at the signings we made. There wasn't really any sort of high-known, well-profiled signings. Obviously, Courtney Baker-Richardson came back to the club. Anthony Glennon came in as well as a left back. I thought those two were going to, really be pivotal players for us. Lost Omar Bogle, lost Will Evans, which was a big loss of goals towards the team. And I don't really think we strengthened well. I'll be honest, Kyle Hudlin came in on loan as well. Kieran Evans, I thought, we had bits of quality from him. And overall, I don't really think the squad improved on the previous season. I predicted us 15th. We finished in 22nd. Dreadful season. Embarrassing season, to be honest. And could have been even worse. Could have gone down. Some say we should have gone down with how bad we played and got away with some results in a few games. And got away with a few bad defeats. Also, we got handed some big defeats along the way. Big summer ahead for David Hughes. Again, I normally get called biased when I put us a bit higher. I put us 15th, and look what happens. We finish even worse. So it's going to be interesting to see where I put us for next season. But I predicted 15th. We finished 7 places lower than that in 22nd. Could be a lot worse in the season upcoming. 15th place then, I did put Barrow. I said that Barrow would finish in 14th. They finished in 16th. And again, in that video, I said that it'll be a massive drop-off from the from the previous season. Obviously, they nearly got to the playoffs the season before, the one just gone. And I said that there will be a drop-off. Obviously, Pete Wild left. And some of those players left that, endured a massive quality season for Barrow, to be fair, where they did nearly get the playoffs. They finished 16th, 2 places lower than what I predicted. And again, it's the same part of the table, isn't it? I said they won't get relegated and they won't be anywhere near the playoffs. I said they'll be right bang in towards the middle area of the league. And that's exactly where they finished. I said 14th. They finished 16th. Again, they're a stable League Two team now, unless obviously something goes badly wrong in the next couple of seasons. But yeah, Barrow 14th. I predicted them to be 14th and they finished 16th. 13th place then, just under mid-table. I predicted the Wombles, AFC Wimbledon. They finished in 5th, didn't they? And they got promoted. Massive L. Massive L. Yeah, I know there's 8 places off, but ultimately they got promoted and I said they'd finish mid-table. So what a season they had. What a season they had. Obviously, some quality players in their team. Matty Stevens scored goals for fun. Owen Goodman was a monster in between the sticks for AFC Wimbledon. And obviously, new fill in the team, James Tilley. It was a quality team that deserved promotion. I said 13th. At the start of the season, I didn't think Johnny Jackson could get this team promoted. And, throughout the season, they just were one of the deserved teams to go up. And yeah, I got it massively wrong. I said mid-table. The Wombles have only gone and got promoted. So big up to them. Congratulations, AFC Wimbledon fans. Enjoy League One. And yeah, it hurts. It really hurts that I got that so far off, because during the season I was like, yeah, they could get promoted here. 13th I predicted. They finished in 5th and promoted via the playoffs. And in 12th place, another one that I predicted bang on. I predicted Swindon Town would finish in 12th place, and they did finish in 12th place. Now, as much as, obviously, I don't really like Swindon, you know, the job that Ian Holloway done when he came in, he inherited a team that looked down and beat, basically, didn't they? And he got quality out of them. They nearly got the playoffs, missed out on it by, you know, 5 places, and a few weeks or months before the end of the season looked like they was going to sneak in, and I was a bit worried that they were going to do that. But after all of that, I predicted 12th. They finished 12th. You know, Ian Holloway with a full pre-season, a full transfer window. I think he's really going to do business with Swindon next season, should he stay, of course. Yeah, I could see them potentially getting promoted next season if he does wonders in the transfer market with them. I predicted 12th. They finished in 12th. A third bang-on prediction for me. This is easy, this, isn't it? 11th place then, the team that I predicted was Colchester United. Now, I know this is shameless, I know, but I'm only going to say this because not many people would have predicted Colchester United up there. I saw a lot of 16th, 18th, 19th, around the real bottom end of the table for Colchester United, and I got it one off. I predicted 11th. They finished in 10th. Now, I did say when I predicted it, the Cowley brothers, you know, the signings that they made, some really good players in there. And ultimately, I've got it one off, but a lot of people would have predicted Colchester to finish a lot lower. There was one point where they were going to make playoffs, and I literally said in the video at the start of the season they could make playoffs, and they nearly did. So 11th place I predicted. They finished in 10th, a few places off the playoffs. What a season for Colchester, considering everyone and their dog predicted them to finish in the bottom half. 11th place I predicted. They finished in 10th. 10th place then I predicted Charlie Adams Fleetwood to finish in 10th place. Obviously recently relegated from League One, and I did say in the video the business that they'd done I didn't think was enough to get them back promoted to League One. And ultimately, they have finished in 14th place, proper mid-table. Again, I predicted 10th. I said there'll be a few places off the playoffs, and they were, you know, 4 places off. Where I predicted 7 places off the playoffs. Again, probably could have been a lot better, should have been a lot better, should have invested better in the transfer windows. But yeah, I predicted 10th place for Fleetwood. They finished in 14th. 9th place, I predicted the Gillingham. They finished 8th place, 8 places lower in 17th. Now, again, at the start of the season, what they'd done in the window was good. You know, the manager they had was good, Mark Bonner. And it just completely and utterly fell apart. They were doing so well at one point, you know, really up there in the league, and just completely and utterly capitulated. Finished 17th, 8 places lower than what I predicted them at the start of the season. And again, it probably could have been about 9th to 12th should they have not had that massive slip off where they lost like 6 or 7 in a row or something stupid like that. But yeah, I predicted Gillingham to finish in 9th. They finished in 17th. Again, a terrible season for Gillingham and terrible for my prediction. In 8th, the final team that I predicted to miss out on the playoffs was Crewe Alexandra. They finished in 13th place, 5 places off where I predicted them. And at the start of the season, again, they played well. They looked like a team that were going to be up there, and ultimately missed out on playoffs as well, which I predicted at the start of the season, but I didn't think they were going to miss out on playoffs like as the season was progressing. Just bad results to, you know, really shit results basically against teams they should have beat throughout the season. They miss out on the playoffs. Obviously, they brought in Omar Bogle. They lost Baker Richardson. They kept Mickey Demetrio as well. Obviously, they brought in the guy on loan. I can't think of his name, from Fulham, I think it was, who actually got their player of the season. So I think it might have been Harry Williams, I think. So yeah, a really good team that just really underperformed, and I thought they were going to do a lot better. I predicted 8th. They finished in 13th. First team that I predicted to be in the playoffs in 7th was the Bantams, Bradford City, and they've only gone and got promoted. Fair play to Graham Alexander, Bobby Poynton. You know, what a player he is. You know, look at that team that have just got promoted. You know, Anthony Sarcevic. You know, the team has got quality running all through it. You know, I've said for a long time Bradford should be a League One side. They're massive. They should not be in League Two. And finally they've done it. I predicted they'd get to the playoffs and then maybe they'd go up via the playoffs. They finished in 3rd. They got promotion literally on like the final day when they scored that goal at Valley Parade when it went absolutely mental. I've predicted them for a long time to get out of this division. 7th place I predicted. They finished in 3rd. The Bantams are in League One. Congratulations, Bradford City. The team that I predicted in 6th then was Port Vale. And again, another team I predicted to be in the playoffs and got promoted. Port Vale finished in 2nd, missed out on the league title to the team that I'll talk about in a little bit. But again, Port Vale, Jayden Stockley, bagged them goals. Darren Moore, what a coach. You know, Connor Ripley, I know obviously he left, but, you know, the signings they made as well. Ronan Curtis, Ben Hennigan. Port Vale deserved to get promoted, and I think that's why I put them in 6th in my prediction. I didn't know if they were going to push on into the automatics, but I predicted Port Vale to finish in 6th. They finished in 2nd. Again, congratulations, Port Vale fans. The Valiants are a League One side. And the penultimate team that I predicted to be in the playoffs was 5th place Notts County, and they finished in 6th. Missed out on promotion, losing to AFC Wimbledon over 2 legs in the League Two playoff semi-final. Again, another team that probably will threaten the automatics next season. They've threatened it since they've been back in the league. Obviously, McGoldrick turned down a contract renewal, but they had Jatta, Will Jarvis, you know, at the back, Jacob Bedeau in goal, Alex Bass, you know, a ridiculously good team that Notts County had, and all players who could score goals for them. You know, Jatta, obviously the main one, McGoldrick scored a lot. I predicted 5th. They finished in 6th. They didn't get promoted. So I kind of take a win with that one. I said they'd be in the playoffs and not go up, and that's exactly what happened. And the last playoff team, the team that I predicted 4th, the Cumbrians, Carlisle. I predicted 4th. They went down. 23rd, relegated to the National League. Chris Welch, if you're watching, big up to you, mate. Terrible with that one. Absolutely terrible. I don't think a lot of people predicted them to go down. So I think a lot of people put them playoffs minimum. Some people put them automatics. But that's just an anomaly. I don't think many people would have put them to go down. I said 4th, 19 places worse off in 23rd. I mean, it would have been worse if I would have said it in the top 3. But yeah, Carlisle, I predicted 4th. They finished in 23rd. Commiserations to Carlisle. But they probably deserved it throughout the season with how poor Paul Simpson was. Then Mark Hughes came in, couldn't really save it. Even though he had enough time. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve criticism. He does. He should have kept them up. He had enough time to do so. But I predicted 4th. They finished in 23rd. And the first team that I put to get automatic promoted was Doncaster Rovers in 3rd. And Donny managed to win the League Two title. The players that they signed, the players that they had at the club, Luke Molyneux, of course, Billy Sharp, Jordan Gibson in midfield, Oliver at the back. What a team. What a team. And obviously Grant McCann, I said in the prediction video, Grant McCann, I'm not too sure how he's going to do this season. That I predicted 3rd. They went on to win the League Two title, and fully deserved. Such a good team, such a good manager. The fan base is, elite. And again, Doncaster back in League One. Congratulations, any Doncaster fans watching this. I predicted 3rd. They still got promoted in 1st and won the League Two title. 2nd place then, I predicted the new boys to the league, Chesterfield. I said that they absolutely ripped the National League apart the season before, and I thought they were going to do a double promotion and finish in 2nd. They finished 5 places lower in 7th. They did lose in the playoff semi-finals to Walsall. And ultimately, they didn't really turn up in those 2 legs, but this is about the season in general. Will Grigg scored goals for them. You know, obviously they had Armando Dobra, Michael Jacobs was a good player, Ollie Banks as well. You know, that Chesterfield team, Ryan Boot in goals. Again, I predicted automatic promotion. They got the playoffs, 5 places lower. I know it's, you know, 5 places lower, but again, I said that they would be promoted, and they nearly had a chance of being promoted. 5 places off. I predicted 2nd, and Chesterfield finished in 7th. And the team that I predicted that would win the League 2 title was MK Dons. Shout out Luca Quarter if you are watching this. I predicted MK Dons to win the League 2 title. They finished 18 places lower in 19th. Hold my hands up, massive L. Huge L on that one. I predicted MK Dons would win the League 2 title. They finished in 19th, which, terrible season for them. Terrible season for my prediction. Everything just went wrong. Everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. Max Dean walked out the door. There was a lot of, you know, players that walked out the door during the pre-season that sort of hampered them. They did sign well in the summer and signed decent in January as well. But ultimately, 18 places off my prediction. I said they'd win the league. They finished in 19th. Massive, massive, massive L. And what a terrible season for MK Dons. Those are my table predictions for the 2024-25 season. Looking back at them, looking at how bad some were, how good some others were. And I've calculated it all up. I've ended with a score of 139. So I'm going to try and obviously beat 139 next season when I sit down and do this exact video in 12 months' time. So what I've done is, obviously, where Swindon finished 12th and I predicted 12th, I got 0 points. Where Colchester finished 10th and I predicted 11th, I got 1 point. So throughout the 24 teams, I had a score of 139, which, again, it is quite bad. I had 3 correct predictions, but let me know how you did for your 2024-2025 table predictions, and hopefully when I'm doing this for 2025-2026, we have a lot more positive score, and hopefully we can get lower than that 139. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and also make sure you turn notifications so you never miss a League 2 or Newport County video. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you in another one. Cheers.